Welcome to Binge Watch, giving you our picks of what's happening in the world of film and TV.
With Bafta buzz in the air, we're turning our attentions to the best British films nominated at this year's awards.
British films have topped the critics list this award season, sweeping up nominations in several categories.
Oh, but darling, you're kind about everyone. You can't be trusted.
Jacob, do you have a standout?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's a very one end of the spectrum to the other in this category, but for me, the one that stands out is The Zone of Interest. It's got Bafta nominations, it's got Oscar nominations, and I think it's a very important, vital film. I don't think it will win the top prize, so I would really hope that it has a chance at winning in the British film category at the Baftas. For those who don't know, the film is about it's about a man who works at Auschwitz, and you don't see what he does in Auschwitz, but he lives just outside the gates where, you know, the horror is ensuing. Jonathan Glazer, who averages about one film a decade now. His last film before this was Under the Skin.
Yeah.
One of the best films ever, if not this century. And that was 2012, and then he's back with The Zone of Interest, which is an adaptation of a Martin Amis book, but he's completely kind of contextualized or just turned it into his own thing. So it'd probably be a very different experience reading the book to watching the film.
Dank für eure nationalsozialistische Gastfreundschaft.
It really plays with form, it plays with sound in just ways that, I mean, I can't really remember having a visceral reaction that I did when I watched the film in a cinema, just like based on the sound, you know. Mika Levy did the score for Under the Skin as well.
Yeah.
So good. That's like a match made in heaven, them two. But with, you know, the ideas of her with the material that Jonathan Glazer is putting onto screen is nothing short of sensational. It would go down well in history if A Zone of Interest wins a bunch of Baftas.
Yeah.
Because it's clearly like a league above the rest. You know, no disservice to the rest.
Yeah.
There are some good nominations there.
I mean, we've got Sandra Huller in the film, and she's coming off Anatomy of a Fall, which she's brilliant in.
What a year.
I know, big year for Sandra Huller.
What a year. Both so different.
Yeah.
In Anatomy of a Fall, it's like dialogue heavy and like, it's all about the words, and in Zone of Interest, it's all about the face and the movement. And, you know, she doesn't really speak. Really impressive.
Bisschen Kräuter, auch Rosmarin, hier ist rote Beete, das ist Fenchel, die Sonnenblumen, ja.
I mean, we watched All of Us Strangers together,
We did.
the Andrew Scott, Paul Mescal one, and I loved that. I thought that was really good.
A few tears from you.
Yeah, I cried a little, and I just thought that was really moving. And I mean, I thought it was like the worst snub that Andrew Scott didn't get a nomination.
Right.
I remember after we finished, like, you weren't like massively keen on the film, but you said 100% that's a BAFTA nod that may translate to an Oscar nod, but just nothing.
Wasn't to be.
Yeah, it wasn't to be.
It doesn't take much to make you feel the way you felt back there again.
He really made the film. No offense to to Claire Foy or Jamie Bell, who did receive nominations, but I just can't see a world where they receive it and Andrew Scott doesn't.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't think that matters.
Were there any on the list that you thought shouldn't be on the list?
Of course. They awards voters obviously fall victim to recency bias, maybe, but obviously the bias sometimes is skewed into just what is in the discussions of the moment. And I think Saltburn being added to Amazon Prime Video over Christmas was such an amazing move for all involved, because it became one of the most discussed films of the past few months.
Like a viral film. You can't look anywhere without seeing Saltburn.
Which is what I think Emerald Fennell, who directed Promising Young Woman, she was hoping would happen. I think she kind of, you know, I didn't mind the film, but the discussion that it has generated for me is not worthy of, like, the film doesn't need that. It's actually just fine. It's not terrible, it's not amazing, and I think Emerald Fennell kind of had these ideas in her head of the scenes that everyone watching has probably read or heard about down the pub or you know, from their outraged parents, and she was hoping that would become like a thing on social media.
And it did.
And it's exactly what happened. So fair play.
I don't think I'll ever go home again.
Well, why don't you come home with me? Come to Saltburn.
But yeah, I'm the same. I thought, like, I watched it. I didn't go to the cinema to watch it. I waited for it to come out on streaming, watched it over Christmas break, and I was like, this is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't really care for the story that much.
Yeah.
And it was a shame because I thought all the acting was good. I thought Rosamund Pike was good. I
She's
thought
great.
Jacob Elordi was good. I like Barry Keoghan. But yeah, it didn't do it for me. And I think there are much other more worthy films. It was really like beautifully shot.
Yeah, and obviously the vistas and the location.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to go to have a party. It's
Obviously.
The outrage that people had over the film, it's like kind of maybe watch more films.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, that's so rude and patronising, but it's true.
Oh, that's just giving me goosebumps. Look, Pamela. Oh, no.
For every Saltburn, though, there is a Rye Lane, which is on there. And, you know, I think the thing with Rye Lane, which came out, I reckon, about a year ago now. Well, no, in February. It'll be about a year.
It's like quite distant, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely.
David Johnson, Vivian Oprah, when I first watched that film, it's the chemistry that ties that film together. I think it's not an amazing film, but I think a film like that, it's all about the charm.
Yeah.
And I think that film has charm in buckets.
Very British charm.
Yeah, it does, right? It does.
You dumped this funny, clever, successful accountant for this jobless human bin fire.
My work precedes me.
It's filmed vibrantly in a way that I've never really seen South London, especially like put on screen before.
Yeah.
So Vivian Oprah got Best Actress nomination.
Yeah, which is amazing. And like you said, I think it's so nice to see when when, you know, timeline doesn't play such a big part in it, because that did come out, it's like so in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice thing to see something awarded that didn't come out in the last 2 months.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It shows that people are actually watching and paying attention to things that aren't just in the conversations all the time.
Why would I do anything like that?
Another film on there, How to Have Sex. I was really happy that was on there. I thought that was good. And I mean, Mia McKenna Bruce.
Mia McKenna Bruce.
Yeah, she's got the Rising Star nomination.
I think it's a really strong British debut, but not for me as accomplished as maybe the reviews had led me to believe it would be. But that performance, Mia McKenna Bruce, is staggeringly brilliant. Like, without her in it, I'm not sure the film would have landed for me as much as it did.
Yeah, she's definitely the linchpin of all of it. Yeah.
Big style.
Best holiday ever.
One film that is nominated, which is, you know, I think a few people would be like, what's that doing there? Is Poor Things.
Yes, I mean, what makes it British?
Well, I guess we weren't sure, were we? And we looked it up in Film 4 Backed, which I guess it's just, you know, it's funded by the UK, partly funded by the UK. There's all these rules and regulations around the nominations.
This is Bella. Bella, this is Mr. McCandles.
Hello, Bella.
Yorgos Lanthimos is such a, hate to use the word, am I going to use it? I'm going to use it. A visionary. Oh my God. But he is like, when you watch him, you know it's a Yorgos Lanthimos film. Like,
it's so him.
Distinct. That it feels weird that film could get as many nominations as it gets without them thinking he was deserving of mention in the category.
Yeah, but it looks amazing.
It does look great.
And I love Yorgos Lanthimos. I have high hopes. And Emma Stone's performance has been so praised.
Yeah.
I feel like, to be honest though, you go in with such high expectations. When they're this high, there's only one way to go.
Yeah, I have heard a few dissenting opinions, but like also, it's like you say, Yorgos Lanthimos film is an event.
I am Bella Baxter, and there is a world to enjoy, circumnavigate. It is the goal of all to progress, grow.
Scrapper is nominated again, directed by Charlotte Regan. I think it was her first ever film. A lot like Molly Manning Walker. Harris Dickinson.
Yes, yeah, who's great.
Really
Again, I would
great.
have seen him in a Rising Star kind of category.
Has he been nominated before?
I don't know.
Maybe they think he's suddenly too far.
That's so strange though, because he's definitely not as far as Jacob Elordi.
It's just a promising debut from someone who is surely going to be a huge heavyweight one day, and I think the performances at the centre of the film really kind of bolster it.
Who's Georgie?
Who's asking?
I'm Jason. I'm your dad.
So Scrapper is definitely well worth watching, and it's a great nomination at the end of the day. Like, that's what that category is built for. And it's a shame it kind of comes up against a titan like Poor Things.
Yeah.
Or Wonka. Wonka is nominated, right?
Bizarrely.
Yeah.
Again, I don't understand the British connection.
Well, Paul King is the guy behind it, and Simon Farnaby. So it's like from the guy who did Ghosts and Paddington.
Oh, okay.
So it's got British, heft behind it.
Yeah.
I think they're just being kind to Paul King because of Paddington 1 and 2.
Everyone loves Paddington.
Everyone loves it, and
Yeah.
I think it runs deep. The love of that runs deep, and maybe Wonka, and it was a big hit. It was well reviewed.
Yeah, I think
Hugh Grant was in it.
I feel like it was well reviewed because the trailer looked so terrible, and so everyone watched it thinking it was going to be the worst thing ever, and then it turned out to be mediocre. And they were like, "That's great."
It's a great tactic. Make your trailer rubbish and lower everyone's expectations.
Because it's so often the other way around.
Nope, scratch that, reverse it.
You can watch the Baftas on Sunday, 18th February on BBC One. Thanks for watching Binge Watch on independent TV.
We'll see you again next time. Like and subscribe on YouTube and follow along for all the latest trailers and updates on Instagram and TikTok.